In this video, I'm going to show you a quick, easy, cheap way to get fire anytime, anywhere. I'm Will. Welcome to Will Survive.
We're on easy street, and it feels so sweet. The world is but a treat when you're on easy street. And we're breaking out the good champagne, sitting pretty on the gravy train. And when we sing every sweet refrain, repeat right here on easy street. It's our moment in the sun, and it's only just begun. Time to have a little fun. Everybody, you come and see why you should be on easy street. Yeah, we got a front row seat to a life that can't be beat right here on easy street. A woman in the sun, and it's only just begun.
Got what I need.
Should be on easy street. Yeah, we got a front row seat all to a life that can be beat right here on easy street.
All right, so we got everything here that we need to make this happen. All we need is some cotton balls, a candle, and Ziploc bags or something to put it in. In this case, I think we're gonna go with an Altoid tin. It can be very useful for survival stuff because you can use these little tins for char cloth. You can put your cloth in there, set it next to the fire, you got char cloth. I would prefer a candle that does not come in any glass thing. So it kind of gets an in cave after you use it a few times, and you can just dip it on the edge even with the candle still burning. The candle is lit now. We're gonna need to give it some time so the entire top of the candle has a nice liquid consistency. And then we'll bring the camera closer in so we can get a better look at this process. So what we're trying to do here is make a way to create fire anytime, anywhere, any place, in any weather conditions without having a lighter or matches. So in this case, a ferrocerium rod will do just fine. So we can take our knife or your scraper, your ferrocerium rod, and once we have this all complete, we get a few scrapes, and then boom, we have fire that'll burn long enough to get your fire going. Another little survival tip is it's always good to have some Gorilla Tape on you. So what I've done here is this was a nice hard case, although a very inexpensive budget knife choice on Amazon, but it's got a nice hard case, so it clips in there nicely, but there's no place for the ferrocerium rod. So to kill two birds with one stone, I made a little pocket on the top with Gorilla Tape. So that makes a place for my ferrocerium rod to go that I can slide it in there, pull it out whenever I want, and slide it right back in. And the other thing is I always have some Gorilla Tape on me out in the wilderness if I need it. So now that the candle has been burning for a while and is nice and melty on top, we can continue. The secret to getting this to work is to make a cone shape with the cotton ball. And you just want to put wax on the tip. So the first thing I want to do, but to get as many as I can fit in there, I like to make a hockey puck. So I'll hold it in between my thumb and index finger like this and squish this down while I rotate it and squish like this around. Rotate it and squish it, rotate it and squish it. So that when you're done, do that for a bit. So when you're done, you have a nice, small, much more compact. Here, I'll show you with next to a regular one. Oh, this one's already slightly cone shaped, but you can see that. Even maybe better in this camera. See the height difference between those two. So the nice little hockey puck is going to fit nicely in our tin. So we'll be able to at least get 2, 4, 6. So you got 6 fires worth. When we dip it, just so you don't burn yourself, let it get nice and melty so it'll be melty for a while, and then blow it out and then do your dipping. So we're gonna pull the tip out from the center. That's good enough right there. And then I'm gonna roll that or squish that up. Might wanna get a little moisture on your fingers so you can start to roll this. I'm going to say that's good enough. That's a decent tip. So I'm going to make a few of these. Squish and rotate, squish and rotate, squish and rotate. So we got a nice tight little hockey puck bundle. So here, see, I'm just kind of pulling it out. So you got just a little section of the center pulled out here. And I'm going to try to, with my fingers, again, lick my fingers, get a little moisture on there so I can kind of pinch that together on the top. Yeah, that's good enough. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then once it dries, I'm going to squish it down again into that hockey puck shape before I put it in the tin so I can get as many as I can fit in there. So now that I've got a few ready to go, I'm going to blow out the candle and then I'm going to dip them real quick and then set them down. Because obviously, if you leave the candles burning, there we go. That's good enough right there. If you leave the candles burning, you're probably going to catch your cotton on fire. And, you know, safety first. So see, just a little bit on the tip. Okay, and then we'll just put it right in my tin here. And I'm going to do the other one. I mean, it's going to be melted enough to do probably 2 or 3 tins worth of these if you want. But 1 tin is usually good enough for an outing for me. So there we go. You see just the tip. Although I have this particular Canon camera on manual focus right now, so it's not going to autofocus on that for me. But I have this other little camera closer. So we see we got our little cone shape, and then we dip it in the wax. Let it drip free. And then we'll set it down. And then we'll set it down in our tin. Whoops. And then we'll set it down in our tin and let them dry. And that's it for that step. Then we just let them dry, and then I'm going to squish them back down with that little movement I was doing, and then we'll take them out to the field with our knife and ferrocerium rod, and we'll give it a scrape, and we'll see how these work. So the whole secret to making this work is by making a cone shape. And once we get out to the field, I'll show you once we get out there, we're going to fluff out the bottom part. So the bottom is going to be nice and wide, a nice large area, right? Whenever you're trying to start a fire with a ferrocerium rod, you want as much surface area as you can get, right? And lots of surface area to catch that spark. So I'm going to fluff out the bottom to make it an easier base as well as a larger surface area to catch the spark. Notice just the tiniest little bit of wax on the top. That little bit of wax should be enough to get this fire going. So you can see that the wax is starting to catch. That little bit of wax will be enough to keep it burning for a while so that you can get your fire started. But the secret to getting this to work, like I said before, is to make the tip very, very narrow. Put it in between your fingers, roll it real tight and real narrow, just like a normal candle wick would be, and then you can get this result. And that'll burn for, you know, plenty long enough to get your fire going anytime, anywhere. out after a couple minutes. So it burned for a good 2 minutes, right? That's good enough to get a fire going. So we're gonna put that out. And as per usual, leave no trace. I'm gonna pick up my trash. It's still kind of red and, you know, like char cloth. It's going, which is a whole nother tip for a whole nother video, but some slightly charred cotton stuff will make a pretty darn good thing. So I'm gonna put this back in here so I leave no trace, pick up my trash, and we're done.